still remember the day. The scent of rain on cedar first drifted into my apartment, mingling with the sharp tang of IKEA wood glue and the quiet hum of my own solitude. I was in my studio, my little corner of the world in Portland, Oregon, where the city's mist often clung to the windows like a lover's breath. The bed frame sat half assembled in the center of the room, a puzzle of slats and bolts that had already begun to feel like something else entirely. I was 29, and I had spent the better part of the evening sweating in a white crop top and faded blue shorts, my fingers stained with sawdust and my patience wearing thin. The kind of day when your thoughts, if left alone too long, begin to whisper things you're not sure you want to hear. Something about the way the light filtered through the blinds, the way the wood creaked under my weight, it all felt like a slow, quiet invitation to something I had been avoiding. And then, there he was. I saw him first through the window, a shadow of movement against the gray afternoon. He was outside, shirtless, sleeves rolled up, fixing something on his own porch. The sunlight caught the muscles in his back like it was trying to memorize them. I had seen him before, of course. His wife was often away on business, and he was the kind of man who moved through the world like a song you couldn't quite place, rugged, familiar, just out of reach. I waved, mostly out of habit, and he smiled back. But something in his eyes shifted. A flicker, a pause, and then he was knocking on the door, not with the urgency of a neighbor, but with the quiet certainty of someone who already knew what he was about to find. The air in my apartment thickened the moment he stepped in. It was the kind of tension that made the world feel smaller, like the walls had drawn in and the floor had softened beneath my feet. We were strangers, yet there was an ease between us, a kind of unspoken understanding that made the awkwardness of shared labor feel like something else entirely. He moved close to me when we reached for the same slat. Our hands brushed, and I felt it, something like the first drop of rain before the storm. He lingered just a moment too long, his fingers brushing the edge of mine, and I let myself lean into the contact, just slightly. The wood was rough against my skin, but I barely noticed. I was only aware of him. He was tall, his voice low, and there was a kind of warmth in the way he spoke, like he was already looking for something in me that I hadn't yet given. When he bent over to grab a screw, I found myself watching. Not because I wanted to be, but because my body had a mind of its own. He caught me. I looked away quickly, my cheeks warming, but he only smiled, that same teasing smirk that made my pulse quicken. I dropped a screw then, just behind the bed frame. Not on purpose, but maybe not entirely accidental either. He crouched down to retrieve it, and I climbed into his lap, straddling him like it was the most natural thing in the world. His hands went to my hips, steady, grounding, and I felt the weight of him through the layers of fabric like a promise. "You knew around here," he said, his voice low, like it was meant only for me. "I've seen you." I leaned in, close enough that I could feel the warmth of his breath on my neck. "I've seen you too," I whispered. "You're always so busy fixing things." He laughed, but it was quiet, like he was holding something back. "I like to fix things," he said, "but sometimes I think things just need to be taken apart. We didn't make it to the bed. We didn't need to. The bed frame was a barrier, but also a beginning. We moved around it, around each other, the wood beneath us cool and solid. There was no need for words, only the quiet understanding that sometimes, when you're alone in a room with someone who feels like a reflection of something you've been longing for, you let the moment decide. He was careful, but not careful enough. His hands moved like he already knew my shape, like he had been waiting to find me. And I let him. I let him find me in the way I leaned into him, in the way my breath caught when his fingers brushed the skin at the back of my thighs. I let him find me in the silence between our words, in the way my body responded to his, like it was remembering something I had forgotten to say. We worked in the quiet after that, the way people do after they've been close. He helped me rebuild the bed, and when it was done, we tested it. Not the way it was meant to be used, but in the way that felt right. Like two people who had found something in each other that they hadn't expected to find. I didn't tell anyone. Not then, not now. But sometimes, when the rain comes down in Portland, and the city feels like it's holding its breath, I remember the way the air felt that day, thick, electric, like the moment before a storm breaks. And I wonder if he remembers it too.